couple minor things, nothing too serious. They're getting looked out right now, just normal guys that were in and out. Obviously Dex battled through us for us with the illness, was primarily in the third down role, but really did a nice job when he was asked to go out there, had an impact.
Mike, for you guys, with everything that's happened this year, just what does a 2-game win streak mean for you all?
It's just real. I'm just really proud of the players and the coaches for hanging tough, putting in the work every single day, every single week. They never wavered. They never wavered. I know the results weren't there, but the process was right. The way they went about it, the competitive stamina they went about it to turn this thing around the last couple of weeks and make a statement in terms of how they played and how they prepared, how they practiced. Just really cool, really proud of them. Obviously, seeing these guys in the locker room, just the smiles on their faces. The season wasn't what we all wanted, but they finished it the right way.
What do you say to Gunner in terms of not getting his second touchdown pass this year?
Oh, I'm sure he wants that one back, but I'm proud of him. He had 100 yards receiving today, stepped up in a role. When Wandell goes down, one of our premier receivers, he steps right into that spot and has production like that. And, huge critical third downs, big plays down the field, winning one-on-one. They played a bunch of man coverage, and Gunner took advantage of it.
Mike, what are your emotions right now, as you come to the end of the season? Because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm thinking about this great win that we just had and enjoying this with the players and the coaches. So, and the family, which I'll see. I had a bunch of family in town as well today. So I'm looking forward to enjoying that tonight.
Mike, did it mean anything more to you, though, Mike? Because the first couple weeks after did it mean anything more to you, though? Because the first couple weeks after you took over, it didn't go so well, and then you got the win against the Raiders, and now you get this one too in front of the fans, like you said, your family in attendance. I mean, does that mean something to you?
Yeah, all these games are so important. They mean a lot because we put a lot into it. We spent a lot of time at the facility, spent a lot of time away from your family, spent a lot of time studying and having to figure out and have problems and find solutions. And so you spend a lot of time talking with it, and it ends up being it's a people business. So you got to work with people and you got to find solutions that make it the best for what those players are and what's best for the team. And so you have those conversations, basically the entire day is all you're thinking about is the players, the team, the organization, what puts these guys in the best position. And so, you absolutely, these mean more because, there's people that are involved, there's families that are involved, and, you want to do the best for them.
Mike, it seemed like Jaxson got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then really picked it up. What did you see in him?
I thought offensively, we just had a couple drives early in the game that we could have executed at a higher level. I think there was a couple calls I like to have back as well. Just not finishing in the red zone. I really thought we could have taken more control of the game earlier if we had finished some drives in the red zone. We took some field goals, which was still good. It's kept us in the flow of it. But there was a couple missed opportunities, whether it was penalties or whether it was missed, poor play call, which I thought I had a couple of those that I want back. But I'll go back and look at it. But I just say the early start of that, I could have helped Jaxson out better.
What's it mean for Tyrone to get over 100 yards today? What did it mean for Tyrone to get over 100?
It was great. I mean, he became the third back in Giants history to have 1,000-yard back-to-back seasons. So that was a cool milestone for him. But you heard him. I don't know if you guys weren't in the locker room, but he gave a lot of praise to the offensive line, the tight ends, the coaches. Like, those are the guys that he understands that. Like, he understands that it's an 11-man operation, and those guys are what make it go. But he has to make the plays as well, and he did. He had opportunities today, and he knew he was close to that milestone. That was cool for him to get. I mean, that's a pretty big deal when you talk about the history of the Giants, and he's the third player to do that. So that's pretty cool for him.
Can you talk about the importance of Ben Sauce today?
Yeah, really. I mean, Ben has been he's been lights out. He's been doing a really good job for us. And then he had some opportunities with the extra points and the field goals early in the game to kind of keep us up, and he was nailing them.
What was your message to the team post-game today in the locker room?
Post-game, I just told them how proud I was of them for competing, for finishing the right way. Throughout the week, teams can go one of two ways, and these guys just kept on staying on it, kept on preparing the right way, giving themselves the best opportunity to get out here and get a win. And then they came out and played it the right way, and they had a great mindset. They were tackling, they were running, they were blocking, and then they were making plays, which is at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Your best players making plays. You had Bobby Okereke with an interception, a huge one, on their side of the field that set us up for a touchdown there. And then you have players like Gunner who steps up into roles and, are making plays. down the field, right? Ben Sauls, early in the game, we sputtered in the red zone. He steps up and makes a play for us and hits the field goal. So really proud of those guys for stepping up.
Was there a point, when you were named interim coach, how long did it take you and you feel the staff to just get into the rhythm that you wanted them to have?
I really wasn't concerned about like when we were going to get into a rhythm. I think very early on is just myself communicating as clearly as I can the standards and how we're going to operate. And so that was, on my end of it, just really, reinforcing that, what I thought was important, and just giving it to them. And these guys are great coaching staff to work with. They're great coaches. And so, we've been on the same page. I've been working with them all year, all season. Now it's just in a little bit different role. So just being really clear with them with what I was, expecting. And then if anything ever came up, we just communicated, collaborated, and got it fixed.
You talked this year about Jackson's growth, but now after these last 2 games, 2 rushing touchdowns last game, 2 passing touchdowns, discipline with his running a little bit more. What can you say about his growth from when he started this journey to now where he is at the end of the season?
Mm-hmm. He's a young quarterback, so you're gonna go through those ups and downs. Like that's really normal. So we felt like there might have been a little bit, when he had a couple of rough games, like it's gonna swing. Oh, he's this or that. I think Jaxson has done a good job of just staying with his process, going through and continuing to ramp up his communication with the players and continue to work his tail off to get the little things cleaned up, the details, right? His footwork, the mechanics, where his eyes are going to, his eye progression. So I thought Jaxson kind of blocked out all that noise, and you see this a player who's continuing to grow and continuing to learn. And the more reps he's getting, the more information he's going to bank. And now, you can springboard that into the offseason, or now he's going to continue to grow and learn. And all those things that we kind of went through the first time around, now he's seen it 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. That memory bank's going to kick in for him because he rarely makes the same mistake twice. So this is going to be a great offseason for him, and it was a great way for him to cap off the season.
Two more.
What did you think about the way he bounced back from the game against the Vikings these past 2 games? He really seemed to hit his stride. What did you think about his ability to kind of brush that off and bounce back?
Yeah, these are all the qualities that we saw very early on with him in the draft process, and his ability to, after an interception or after a bad play, what does he do the very next play? And so you study that, you look at it, and it's, hey, we're stepping up. He's throwing a big-time shot, or he steps up, throws a touchdown, or runs and scrambles and gets a big play. So he has a very quick memory in that sense, and that's a good quality to have for a quarterback. When things go wrong, you flush it, and you move on, you get back on track and get back on the attack. And I think Jaxson, and I know Jaxson has that mindset, that aggressive mentality to do that, and he's shown it.
Going into the offseason, now is the time you start developing and putting plans in place for the team. Given the status interim, how do you approach that?
I haven't looked that far ahead. We're just going to enjoy tonight. I have the plan. We have plans laid out. We've had those conversations. Right now is a great night to just enjoy it with the team, with the staff, and the families.
Mike,
Go ahead. Yeah, take the last.
Mike,
Sorry.
John Mara has some personal stuff going on. We know that, right? I'm not going to get into it. How important was it today to win this last game and kind of put a smile on his face?
It was great. It's great to have him around. It's great to have him around the facility and the players and the coach. I mean, he brings that energy to the locker room. He was there today. We presented him with a game ball. Talk about toughness and resiliency. He's one of the poster child for that, and coming up and still continuing to lead our organization. Very happy and very proud and very fortunate to work for a man like that.
How much trouble did Chris give you after that short pass?
He didn't give me none. It's on my phone, and it's all the rest of the guys. It's on me.
Needless to say, your first 100-yard game as a receiver with anybody in the
life.
NFL. In your life, too, not just also college?
Sure, yeah. I didn't play receiver in college, so yeah.
All right, so that's got to be a pretty proud moment, especially since it came in a game when a lot of people said, oh, it doesn't really matter.
Sure, yeah. Maybe it don't matter to them, but all the guys who put on his jersey and put on his helmet, it matters to us. So it was a lot of fun to go out there and do what my team needed me to do, step up in a situation when somebody gets hurt, and that's what you, as a backup special teamer, that's kind of what your job is. So
I think that's important for people to understand, because you're not a first-round draft pick, right? You're one of those guys on the depth chart. You play special teams.
Right.
For you especially, pride and getting wins is a critical deal.
For sure, yeah. Nothing's guaranteed for guys like me, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So, every time I step on the field, it's a fight to keep doing what I love to do. So that's how I look at it.
How much you love playing with Jaxson?
I love it more than anything, man. I was at 98 yards, and they had a different play called, and Jaxson was like, we got to get him 2 more yards. And he just went in the huddle, called his own play, called my shot. And I was like, my guy, bro. I love you. So, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, man.
As somebody who's been in this franchise, to see the emotional scene, I would imagine, afterwards, and Mr. Mara getting the game ball, what were your thoughts as you're seeing it, when you're watching it, and
Yeah,
what
I
did
mean,
that feel?
it's special because we know what Mr. Mara is going through, but we know how much he brings to this team, obviously as the owner. But just seeing him today, because we haven't seen him in a while, seeing him today, was really kind of fulfilling, at least for me. And seeing him get the game ball was important because I know he's the toughest guy in here, and he didn't even play a snap today.
How about for you? To finish the season like this, I think back to the summer, and there were a lot of people saying, will Daniel Bellinger even be on this roster?
Right.
Whether it's internal or external. But what are you feeling as you move forward here in your career?
I just feel proud of this team. I know we didn't have the season that we wanted, didn't get the wins that we wanted. A lot of ups and downs. You talk about the Denver game, you talk about the last time we played the Cowboys and how those games shook out. And so just kind of being able to finish these last 2 weeks with these guys and these coaches, because like I said earlier, a lot of teams, basically every team in the league, like their team that they have right now is not going to look the same next season. So being able to finish it out with this team, these coaches, these players, this staff, was important.
So, Brian, you cap off the season with a couple of wins, and I know somebody who hurts after every loss like you do, this has got to be a much better feeling.
Yeah, a lot better. It's good to go out on the win, especially at home. Energy's high.
What did you see from this defense the last month of the season that makes you feel an awful lot better going into the offseason?
I feel like we played a little bit faster. We was able to get the ball out in the last, 4 or 5 weeks. I think we got like 8 or 9 touches. So that's a big jump for us. I might be wrong a little bit on those numbers, but we definitely got the ball out a lot more. So that's a big jump for us, and that's something that we needed.
There's a lot of uncertainty. You never know who's going to be back, coaches, players, when the season ends. How much do you think about that at all? I mean, this is the last game you'll play with all these guys in this room.
I think about it pretty often as of recent, just because I got so much, excitement. I believe in this team. I believe in the pieces that we got. So I have been thinking about it a little bit.
What would be the one message you have for Giants fans going into this offseason to tell them that there is optimism for 2026?
I feel like we're headed in the right direction. We have our guy. We have cornerstone pieces on each side of the ball. And, there's nothing but to be excited.
Brian, does it matter that going into next season now, you don't have to hear things about how many times in a row the Giants have lost to the Cowboys, how many times they've lost to Dak Prescott, like to get the Cowboys monkey off your back, so to speak?
What sort of pride did you take in the season you had, despite, mentally, I'm sure it took a toll, all the losses, and you kept showing up week after week and had a career year?
Like I just said, I'm trying to maintain and, stay consistent on my process, and, the results show, and being able to play within the scheme and still get, the results that I wanted and I needed, it just shows the preparation that I put in throughout the week.
What was the postgame like, and does it mean anything, with John's help to be able to at least win this game to sort of end the season here?
It means a lot, man. I'm glad we can get that last win for him. It means a lot.
What really clicked for you just in terms of, film study? You think that helps take your game to another level this
just
season?
Being able to allow the calls to work for me, instead of trying to step outside of the box or step outside the scheme to make a play, I just let the calls work for me, and it happened.
What did you learn about yourself from the start of your season?
I learned a lot. Just I really can't even say anything specific. Just doing things the right way, and in my opinion, just being closer to my Lord, praying more, has helped me a lot.
A lot of people say there's no momentum because there's so much time between the end of the season and kickoff next season. Do you buy that, or are there things that you did in the final month of the year that you believe will make you a better player, a better person, and they will carry over?
Yeah, everything counts. All the habits you make counts. Everything you do towards the end of the year is definitely going to carry you into next season. That's what I'm going to try to do. Just try to do more for the team.
How much will you miss some of these teammates who probably won't be here next year?
Yeah, I'm hurt right now. I'm going to miss it. I miss it already. I don't want to stop, so.
Bill, I'm sorry if you were asked this before, but Greg was saying, early in the season you were a little bit more reserved in terms of not speaking up. Now, what changed to make you want to speak up and talk here? And is that just you coming to your own? Do you plan on being a little bit more of a vocal leader moving forward?
No, I can't really speak on that, but it's just I just felt the need to say something because I felt like we were happy for the win, but just me, myself, how I felt, I'm hurt right now. I want to keep playing. I want to do more, and I feel like we should be in a better position than we're not. And I want to make sure that we do everything in our power next year so we're not in this position.
Jaxson, could you describe the emotions after this one in the locker room and everything that this entailed?
Yeah, obviously, this was the last time that this group was able to go out there on the field together, and we wanted to make the most of it. We just wanted to make the most of our opportunities together, and I'm just proud of the guys that we were able to stay together this week and put together a good plan, and then be out there on the field and compete at a high level. I didn't feel like there was any guys who, really took it off or lowered the intensity. So it's a way better feeling to win a game like this for sure.
What's it like having Gunner in there, and do you have any quarterback tips for him to set his feet differently?
Shoot. I feel bad for him and Chris on that one. I know they both want that back. But Gunner played a great game, and he was very prepared all throughout the week. He's a guy in the locker room that everybody loves. And I knew that, him coming up and filling a role this week, I knew that I was going to get everything that he had. And he's just a guy that competes at a really high level, who you can trust, who's going to give it his all. So I was proud and happy that he was able to get 100 today. But yeah, we got to talk about that throw for sure. We can't let that slide.
Can you talk about how would you describe what you had to do on the play for Daniel Bellinger to score the touchdown?
Oh yeah, just had like a double-sided screen fake to one side, and the guy got upfield fast, so I was like, crap, I got to make something happen here. And he kind of like got my face mask, so made me stumble a little bit, and I knew that he was kind of a little scotch-free, so just tried to give him an opportunity, and he got his knees up when he was running, so he looked good scoring that touchdown, and was happy for him, and it was a good play for our team.
Delivery there. What is that? That's a...
Just got to make it happen. Turn two. Got to flip it.
Jaxson, have you been able to build a relationship with John Mara since you've been here, and what does it mean to win this one for him?
Yeah, obviously he's going through a lot. So the fact that he shows up for us, still comes to the facility to work, and he loves ball. He loves this organization. He gives it everything that he has, and from my perspective, and everybody around here just has the utmost respect for him and is rooting for him and praying for him, and I just think that he's a special individual, and to continue to support us while he's going through, probably the hardest time of his life right now, just says a lot.
Obviously, you're relatively new.
What was it like to see him be involved in the postgame locker room?
Yeah, it was sweet. It was just a good moment for us as a team, and for him to be the leader of our organization for sure. So I was definitely happy for that.
Obviously, you're relatively new, and he's dealing with what he's dealing with. How much have you been able to build a relationship with him?
Yeah, we talk like when we have the opportunities. When he's at the facility, and we are texting each other as well. So it's been cool to create that relationship between each other, even though he's going through this. And like I said, I have the utmost respect for him. And at the end of the day, he's the head of everything and bringing me in here. So I was happy that we were able to finish this season with a win.
Can you talk about the connection with Tyrone Tracy?
Yeah, Tracy's a baller. He's a guy that can do a little bit of everything, and he's just a back that's so dependable in the pass game, in the run game, and does a good job in protections as well. And he's a really positive spirit throughout the locker room too. So I've loved growing a relationship with him, and we know that we're going to play with each other for a long time. So this was just a stepping stone for us of what we see our future like. So I was happy for him being able to reach that benchmark today as well.
It's been a long losing streak against the Cowboys and against Dak Prescott specifically. How does it feel for you to be a part of snapping that streak, those streaks?
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know what the streak is.
9 games, I believe.
Really?
Regular season
9
games. 14 against Dak.
That's crazy. Well, that's good. We snapped that for sure. Dak's a hell of a player. And I know that the rivalry between the Cowboys and the Giants go way back. So it was definitely a good week of prep for us to come out and to put on the performance that we did. And at the same time, I haven't been a part of that. So hopefully that we can get things back on track.
Jaxson, I know you're always team first, but how satisfied is it for you? How good is it for you to finish the year strong? 2 wins, you playing really well, heading into the off-season program.
Yeah, it's definitely a better feeling than it being flipped. But you know, I'm confident in myself every time I step on the field. You know, I feel like, you know, I'm a player who can shift the game and change it in a way for our team to win. And that's just the kind of confidence that I have from how I prepare each and every day, how I compete. So I was proud of, you know, being able to bounce back, you know, from that Minnesota game and to have 2 solid weeks to come out with wins going into this off season, and things are going to change here. So we're going to start doing this a lot more.
Why do you say that? Like, what makes you so certain things are going to change here? Like, what makes you feel like that you're heading in that direction?
Because there's no other option. That's how I see it. I'm not gonna lead in a way that's not having the highest expectation in mind with everybody around me. And I know that we have guys in place that have that same mindset. And you know, Abdul gave a talk at the end of us breaking it down as well. So you know, we just have that energy and that outlook that, you know, it's just the only way that it can go.
Jaxson, there have been a number of quarterbacks now, specifically this year, who went through their issues as rookies. Caleb Williams, Drake May, turned it around. Both those guys are headed to the playoffs. I mean, is that, I know you're confident the turnaround is, but is that what your focus is, that this doesn't have to be a 3-4 year rebuild? You guys can do it next year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we can't accept what happened this year to happen ever again. And I'm excited for, you know, the off season to grow that culture and, you know, help put my hand in it. But, you know, it's going to have me and everybody else sick that, you know, that we're going to be having to watch other teams play. And we got to make sure that we don't let that happen again.
Take a few more highlight of the season for you. What's your favorite part?
I don't know if I can point out one moment. I would just say probably just like the relationships that I built here, from my teammates to the coaches to everybody involved in the organization. Just a lot of really good people here, and I don't think that you don't really know what you're stepping into at times, going up from college to the NFL, because you hear it's, you know, it's more business, like the locker room's different. But, you know, I've just been really impressed by the type of character that we have in this organization, and just grateful to be able to make those relationships for a lifetime.
Jaxson, I know you've been focused on your primary job, professional job, but have you been sneaking a peek at your alma mater, and what do you think their bowl champions?
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're rolling. I'm excited. I'm gonna be at the game. This next one in Arizona, and supporting those guys. And they got a squad, and they got a lot of guys who are playing with a chip on their shoulder and with a purpose. So I'm excited to see them go make a run at it, and it's going to be a really cool thing to be able to experience from the outside.
Jaxson, in talking about the touchdown pass to Bellinger said that there's just something about you that makes believing impossible as possible. From your perspective, what about your game or your personality or how you approach things allows other people to believe in you?
That's very nice of him to say. I just try to give everything that I have when I'm on the field. I try to be a spark. And I definitely want, you know, people to believe because I believe. And I think that's really the biggest thing is I have the utmost confidence regardless of who's playing today. You know, we had offensively, it wasn't like we went out there with our, you know, our starters. You know, we had a lot of guys down, and I just have the utmost confidence in all the guys around me to make plays, and I try to give that belief to everybody around me. And, you know, I just want the guys to know that, you know, regardless of the situation, I'm going to give it my all to win a game. And, you know, that was very nice of him to say.
What do you want people to know about what you guys did in this strong finish that can help boost things going into the offseason?
My bad.
Honestly, just to fight and to want to and to care for each other. That never changed throughout the whole year with all the stuff that happened and whatnot. But just the fight that we have and the care and the love for the game.
As far as the X's and O's on the field, what was the best thing that improved over the final month that you guys believe you can carry over?
Just doing the little things right, and holding guys accountable, and those guys responding well.
So what did it mean to have John Mara in the room and the game ball and everything? How emotional was that?
It was cool. I feel for him. My prayers always go up to him. But it feels good to help get this win for him. It's been a long time since we beat Dallas, so it's good.
You've been around this team, I assume, more than anybody, but what does he mean in this franchise?
Everything, before he was really sick, you see him all the time in the lunchroom, talking to everybody, greeting everybody, and things like that. So his interaction with his team is really good.
You said that you were sick. You're not feeling well?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Was it very important for you to dress today, knowing that you weren't feeling well, and just get on the field to get on?
It's always important for me to go out there and be there for my guys as much as I can do, and I did that today as much as I could.
Jaxson, so much of what didn't go right for you guys as a team and the defense this year involved not finishing games. So what can you take from the fact that you guys were able to finish wins these last 2 weeks to kind of carry over next year to earlier in the season?
Just a mentality thing, saying F it as a defense, wherever the ball is spot, we got to defend it. And I think we did that, and towards the end of the season, we responded well to, field positions and things like that, and we created more turnovers. That was the biggest thing.
But what can you take in terms of how you finish these 2 games to carry forward for when it matters next year?
Yeah, you're right. And then you take away the fact that we made the plays this time. You say to yourself, okay, if we just do that earlier in the season in games, we'll find ourselves where we want to be at the end of the year.
You've stayed there after games, after season when you have made the playoffs. There's always been a lot of wonder about the quarterback.
Yeah.
What's happening next? Do you have any wonder about that now?
No, I have no doubt about that. Jaxson Dart's going to be here. He'll be here for a long time.
Why do you say that?
He's talented. He's young. I think any coach that would come here would be wise to invest in him and try to bring him along because he has all the potential in the world. And I think that it'd be, it wouldn't be wise to pass him on a guy like that.
And what do you think of his little flip to Bellinger? That's not a play that's in the playbook, not scripted.
You can't coach that. You can't coach that. God gave him that, and that's it's one of the reasons why you want to build a guy like that.
Give me John's help. A bit emotional in here after the game?
I haven't seen him in a while, so it was good to see him. Actually put eyes on him, and for him to get a game ball, and also I know beating the Cowboys always means a lot to him. So I was definitely a lot of people. I myself for sure was happy to see him.
Darius, you've been on a Giants playoff.
No, he didn't say that.
Darius, you've been on the Giants playoff team and also some teams that did not have good records. What is the key factor that you believe is here that will make the Giants a winner again?
Yeah, the fact that we have young talent, and at the end of the day, all we need to do is finish games better earlier in the year, to win those. And, we did that this week and last week. We just had to carry that up earlier in the season.
Could you talk about the touchdown and how does it feel when you hear the player's song, Tyrone?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'd be so in the zone that, I can't even hear it. But, my mom and, obviously they be telling me all the stuff. But the touchdown was nice. It was actually a different look that we got the whole week. It came out, and, we was preparing for quarters. But, obviously a touchdown's a touchdown. I'm just blessed that, he threw the ball.
1,000 yards. Scrimmage from scrimmage, how's that feel to you? And especially at the end of that game, it felt like they were trying to get to the ball. It felt good about that?
Yeah. I think they knew what I needed, going in. I knew what I needed going in. But to be honest, that really wasn't on the forefront of my mind. Obviously, I wanted to have a good game, but you can't really press to, for the yards. You can't press to make a play. You really just got to allow it to come to you. And that's really just how the game went. If you watch it, I had a couple runs that it was, 1 yard, 2 yards. I had a couple catches that was, 0 yards, 1 yard. But, as the game goes, you allow the game to come to you. And I got amazing O-line up front that's doing amazing job, and tight ends are doing work. Quarterback that's looking for me to give me the ball. So whenever you have an offense like that that's really working with you, good things happen.
How was it here afterwards, giving the game ball to John Mara?
It was amazing, man. Obviously, he's going through something that a lot of us can't even think of and fathom. So for us to give him the ball, like, that's really just us, telling him, like, bro, we here with you. We're thinking of you. We're praying for you. And just want him to know that, like, you're not in this alone.
He's always, and his father was always, beating the Cowboys is different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think.
Do you sense that?
I think this is. I want to say this is the first time in like 4 years, something like that we beat them.
It's been 9 in a row.
Or 9 in a row. See, that's longer than I thought. You know what I'm saying? But to get a win today was obviously big to end the season, but also going into next season. And obviously, it feels a little bit better when you beat the Cowboys.
What did Jaxson show you today? Closing out this rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, really, I won't even say today. Really, just the end of the season. Obviously, the season wasn't going as we wanted, but he never wavered. He never lost confidence, never lost faith. True leader of men. So when you have that, as your quarterback, as your core piece, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's easier to build around it because you have that person that's leading the team, and a lot of the things that the coach says, he don't really have to say because we have a quarterback that's gonna say it.
You like that little backhand flip to Bellinger?
Oh yeah, he's a baller, man. He's a baller. Like, you can't teach that. Like, you can watch film, you can study, you can do everything, but like, you can't teach how to ball when the lights come on. And that's just instinct, and obviously he's been doing that since he was little. So when he does it now, it's probably second nature to him.
Can you describe that scene with John?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really cool to be able to go out this season with a win and everything he's going through, everything we've been through as a team, to just be able to go out there and beat the Cowboys and just come in here and celebrate. I remember the last time we went back to the game, so it was really cool to just see him smiling and being able to just give him something like that. I know it was really special for him, especially for everyone else as well.
I guess him and his whole family here too. I mean, that was
I didn't see that until the end, so that was really cool as well. So the little things like that mean a lot to everyone in this building, everyone from the team.
Jermaine, I'm sorry for some of your excuses earlier. I just got you, but how much do you want to come back next year? I know you're a free agent, and be a part of turning this around.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I first signed here, I made it clear how much it meant to me to play for this franchise and this organization, and I still feel the same way. Everything I've said 2 years ago still remains. I love this team, and I love wearing that blue helmet, playing at MetLife, just being around these fans. I've never been shown this much love in my entire career, and I mean, I want to hopefully be part of the transition into greatness here, and I feel like I can be a small piece of that, especially at right tackle, and protecting Dart in his future, and I feel like I do a really good job of that. So if it's up to me, I'd love to go back. Obviously, things have to work out and see what happens. So, like I said, I'd love to be here.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks, man. How banged up were you at the end of the season? Let this be serious.
I mean, I'm wearing 2 shoulder braces and I've rolled my freaking ankle, so but
so that's about 40%.
I mean, I wouldn't really put a number on it, but I definitely wasn't 100%. But I think on the offensive line, it just comes down to how bad you want to play and how much it means to you, and this means a lot to me. Throughout my entire career, if you really look at it, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. I've been cut, put on the practice squad, benched for reasons that weren't under my control, and rotated with certain guys. And the past 2 years have been the first 2 years of my career where I've truly just been able to be the guy and be out there and not have to look over my shoulder constantly, just play freely. And I think that's really paid dividends this season for me, and just being able to just play free. And so when it comes to me being hurt, I'm hurt, but I just put too much work and effort into being out there that if I can be out there, I'll be out there. So that's what it really comes down to.
How much pride do you take in the fact that, like, Tyrone Tracy put together over 1,000 yards from the scrimmage, Wanda Robinson did over 1,000 yards? You guys had a major part of that.
Yeah, I think that the pieces are on this team, and this isn't a regular 4-13 team. Obviously we have the pieces, and you don't see fucking, oh my goodness, my language. It's a lust game. I don't care. It's a lust game. Who cares? You don't see all these records being broken, or these 1,000-yard seasons that one down had Tracy had. Dart being able to swing it, and losing teams don't do that. Losing teams just lose, and they lose terribly. And the games that we've lost, we haven't lost terribly. And so if some of those flip, then we're probably speaking about the playoffs right now. So I think that the future is really bright for this team, and not a lot of teams that have losing records have the pieces that we have. I can't like the Titans and who else is not that good this year? The Jets, and if you look at the rosters compared to this roster, there's a lot of pieces on this roster that I'm sure a lot of teams around the league wish they had. So I think that this team, given they're in the right situation next year, will win a lot of games, and the fans will finally get what they want.
What was it like in here post-game and him getting involved?
I was saying it was good feeling, and everyone was happy. And I'm gonna shout out Abdul because he said it's good to win. This is a good feeling, but we're supposed to win more of these. This is not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to have more games to play. And I said that's a good sentiment to kind of echo going into the offseason. This organization has high standards, and we fell short this year, and we want to be able to win games going forward in the future and get back to where we think Giant football is supposed to be.
Does it mean that Abdul is the one saying that a rookie and the year that he's had?
Yeah, no, it's good. He definitely came on later in the season for us, and that was good. And he's a really quiet guy, so for him to speak up in this environment meant a lot. And hopefully, he steps into kind of that leadership role and grows as a person and a player going forward. And that's kind of what you want to see out of your first-round picks.
For you individually, coming back, on paper, you're not supposed to be able to do the things that you've done the last 2 years, but you have.
Yeah.
Is there satisfaction in that, and how much more do you have?
Yeah, I love playing football, and my job is to play. So if I'm available, I'm going to play, and I've been available most of my career. I haven't missed a game due to injuries since 2020. So I take a lot of pride in playing at a high level. People like to look at age and point to that. It's the cliff is definitely going to come eventually. But I didn't become a full-time starter in the NFL until I was 28 years old. So, this is really on my 7th season starting. So yeah, I'm 35 and it looks impressive on paper, but I feel like I've still got a lot of ball left in me, and we'll see how the future shakes out.
Your rookie quarterback, what did you see from him today? And
he just loves to compete. He's a baller. I love blocking for him, playing with him, and watching his development and his growth over the season has been awesome. This is not an easy game. This is not a simple system to play in. So for Jaxson to take the strides he's taken, it's been awesome to watch. The future's so bright for that kid.